Kevin from Amdahl Hearing. Thanks for joining me today. Wow, as the title of this video implies, we have been through probably one of the busiest two-day periods in the history of hearing aids as I can remember. The short answer is over-the-counter hearing aids are here. What does that mean? And I think this video, we're going to really break that down, and we'll talk about what we know right at this minute. So for those of you who don't know, legislation was passed legalizing the sale of over-the-counter hearing aids. So that's where we start unpacking. The first thing I really want to get out there, I should say, is that Amdahl Hearing's position on hearing aids has always been what's best for the patient is going to be best for the industry, and that's going to be best for Amdahl Hearing. So our position on over-the-counter hearing aids is if they provide a platform where people can get better hearing and it allows more accessibility to the general public, then Amdahl Hearing is all for that. So my goal here is not to say that over-the-counter hearing aids are bad or don't get them. Absolutely not. What we're really trying to do is provide education that will help people to understand what's going on. So let's get into this. Very first thing is, yes, legislation was passed as of August 17th. And for us, that doesn't mean that over-the-counter hearing aids are now available. That will go into effect approximately 60 days post. So we're looking at October, middle of October sometime. So we've got some things that we can figure out in the meantime. Now, the FDA has left some pretty big gaps. And so what I want to go over for now is just what we know. And so I've got some notes here. So if you see me looking down, that's because I want to make sure I'm accurate. So the first thing is we have two major categories of hearing aids. We have prescriptive hearing aids, which are the traditional hearing aids that have always been around, and we have the over-the-counter model. Now, within the over-the-counter model, we've got two categories. We've got the standard over-the-counter model, and then we also have the self-fitting model. And, when people start asking me who's got what, I don't know if anybody knows that yet, but we've got a couple of different options for people. So it looks like there's going to be even a little bit more to digest as far as that's concerned. So two options. The other thing that we worked really hard as an industry for were to put some parameters around this. The first is that there are some output restrictions, meaning we as an industry are very, very concerned about the safety of these over-the-counter devices. Will they provide enough power that they may do some damage? Now, we didn't necessarily win on this one, but we did get the FDA to really look at the output levels and reduce them somewhat. So we'll kind of call that a concession. So we do have some output controls. As far as gain is concerned, the amount of amplification that we're giving, we don't have any restrictions, and we wanted that. So we have a little bit of concern about that. The third thing, checking my notes here, is on labeling. Now, I think a great thing that the FDA did is they said, people who are under 18 really shouldn't be buying this. Now, they didn't put anything in place to require an ID, so I don't know how they're going to enforce that, but the spirit of that law is pretty good. And the last thing is something called preemption. And this is going to be kind of a cautionary statement to a lot of folks out there. Almost every state regulates hearing aids on their own. And so what we don't know is if this federal legislation is going to override that. For instance, in Florida, I believe it is expressly illegal to sell over-the-counter hearing aids. There's something on the books for that. So the question is going to be whether or not this federal law overrides that state law. And so there's a lot to come on that. So I guess the takeaway from this is that I think it's a good thing in that it's going to allow more people accessibility to hearing aids, but we're going to have to continue to unpack this information as time goes on. I promise you that I will keep you up to date, and we'll also start giving you some kind of Amdahl Hearing opinion pieces on things that we would want people to consider. Hey, I'm Kevin Amdahl. We're just gone over the release of over-the-counter hearing aids. That legislation was passed as of August 17th. If you have questions on that, the very best thing to do is going to be to set a consultation. That doesn't mean that we're going to try to talk you into hearing aids. It just means we need to get that out there. So go ahead and give us a call. Email me at info@amdahlhearing.com. Check us out at amdahlhearing.com. And if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to continue to see these updates on OTCs, hit the subscribe button and you'll continue to get notifications that you get them. Again, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Kevin. Hope to see you again real soon.